False prophets tend to be popular. They tell their followers exactly what they want to hear. Truth is never so comforting. Those who would expose false prophets often find themselves served up as objects of derision and, as such, must have the faith to persevere through withering criticism. I'm Michael Quinn Sullivan with a reflection on life and liberty. Each of us must be a thorn in the side of those who serve up a false god that happens to serve their interests. As a self-governing people, we must bring them the right kind of trouble. One of my favorite examples of causing trouble for the ruling elite plays out in the Old Testament book of 1 Kings. The people had turned from God and began worshiping Baal. This is the god to whom worshippers sacrifice their small children in a horrifically vain attempt to appease that which was not there. In 1 Kings 18, we find Elijah, the lone prophet of God at the time, derided as a troubler of Israel by the Baal worshippers. It was an apt title. The false prophets, the crony establishment of the Old Testament, they didn't like the trouble he was making for them by preaching about the true God. As an aside, those false prophets didn't really care about the people. They were serving themselves. By promoting the false teachings of Baal, they were promoting themselves, drawing power and wealth into their hands. So, at Mount Carmel, a deal was struck. On one side would be 450 prophets of Baal. On the other, Elijah. Each would be calling on their respective deity to light a fire. As one might imagine, the false prophets had no success, while the God of Elijah answered with a consuming blaze. The false prophets were seized by a suddenly repentant people and slaughtered in the Kishon Valley. This fiery display of God's power brought the people of Israel back to him, at least for a while. And here's a dirty little secret. False prophets only have sway with a people willing to be led astray. The same is true today. Think of the false prophets in our culture and the narratives they push, from global warming to gender transitions. Entire institutions exist to prop up the false prophets and cancel those who would speak truth to their power. Please note that every crisis invented or promoted by the left has the exact same set of solutions. Restrict travel, nationalize industry, expand government, increase taxes, reduce liberty. Whatever crisis they create, their solutions are always the same. They want us to worship their God. It's up to us to remain steady. We must keep our eyes fixed on God, on what is true, even if unpopular, especially when it's unpopular. When others fall under the self-induced spell of a false prophet, we must speak the truth ever more loudly and boldly. Even if we must do so alone, we must be troublers to the ruling elite. The Reflections podcast is presented by Texas Scorecard. If you like today's message, be sure to rate it, leave a review, and encourage your friends to listen. I'm Michael Quinn Sullivan. Thanks for listening.